right, so yesterday morning, I'm driving. I get I get a link from Rev, and he sends me this news clipping from Boulder, and they're talking about how overjoyed they are about how they got this big win and this weekend, and all this money that's flowing into Boulder now. Everyone's just booming. Everyone's jumping right now, and man, I almost crashed my car. Like, listen to this, man, because this is exactly what I was talking about. This is really the whole point of the story. Everything else, the football, the winning of the games, all that stuff is window dressing. The actual point of the story is the money that's coming into Boulder now. Now that Dion is there, and because Dion is there, the players are there. Because the players are there, the wins are there, and because the wins are there, now you got first takes coming to Boulder next week. Like, think about how crazy that is. First takes coming to Boulder. Last year the team was trash. They were a joke. Now they better be on first take. And let me read this real quick. They said, according to the Boulder Chamber of Commerce, there was an estimated 17 million economic impact this weekend alone, and that could repeat for each sold out game this season. Right? They got 5 more home games. You just do the math on that. They estimated 17 million. Let's just say it's 15 million. That's 75 million more that the city can expect this year alone. And that's the money we're talking about. That's just in year one. The total compensation for Dion's for his whole salary is like 39 million. Right? It sounds like a lot of money, but that's over 5 years. And we can see now after this 2 or 3 home games in the first year, that contract's paid for. That's paid for itself at this point. And people are wondering, and I ask this question: why is Colorado trying to spend money they do not have? The most they ever paid a coach was like $3.5 million, and now you had to give Deion Sanders over $5 million. You gonna give him $40 million over 5 years? And the AD's even talking about, we don't got the money. Let's see what he said. My man said, Colorado AD Rick George was asked how Colorado U came up with the money to hire Deion Sanders. He said, we don't have the money yet, but I know we'll have it. So I'm not worried about that piece. So how is this dude so confident about that, right? And like, think about it at the same time. He's saying that. And the story about Deion and Jackson State is how raggedy Jackson State is. How Deion had to donate like half his check. It's $150,000 for something over here. And why she have to do that? And blah, 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 blah. Okay? You're talking about chump change. And this is what they do. They get you focused on the little things. Oh, he got a scholarship. He got his books paid for. He got free tattoos. He got a free jersey. Or he got a free car. And it's like, what are we talking about here? We're in America. When does anybody get a free car? When does anybody get a free house, free anything? Nobody does. They are willing to give this kid a car because they know the money he will bring to them. 17 million on game day alone came into the city of Boulder. People are eating off that. People are legitimately feeding their families off that. And it's going to happen again and again and again. That's what you need to focus on. Who's generating the money and where does that money go? Everything else is a distraction. It's all a dress up. The game is about that every single time. And just if you can just imagine just looking at Dion, how much wealth he controls, the flow of wealth he controls. It's insane. The power that that man has is insane. But even a little less than a year ago, the media would tell you that he doesn't have that type of power. The black man is not really that valuable. No, these kids aren't really that valuable. When we're talking about paying the athletes, talking about paying the college athletes. You heard all types of excuses. Number one, the money's not there. Two, if the money is there, these kids wouldn't know what to do with it, so we got to hold it for them anyways. Right? You got all these different excuses. Because at the end of the day, they don't want to give them the money. Because again, that's what the game has been about. And now you can see if this is how powerful Dion. Just multiply that by other black players, by other black coaches. You understand the money being generated in college football. It's a billion-dollar industry. They're generating billions, and their product that they are selling is black athletes. How much of those billions are those black athletes seeing? How much of those billions are black business people getting off of that? They're not. So you got this big old industry. The primary people doing the work, the players, aren't even getting paid by it yet. They're getting paid by outside money. They're still not getting paid for what they're doing. That's the insane thing. The SEC has a TV contract that rivals any professional contract in the world. But normally in a professional contract, the players get a bigger percentage of that. Like in the NBA, the players get, I think, 49%. They get to share amongst the players. So when you take multi-billion-dollar contract and you start dividing that up by 400 some players, you can kind of see how that money starts getting there. Now with college, they're not even getting no salary. They're getting the scholarship check, which isn't even money. It's just like, it's an accounting credit. So you can go to the school. It's an accounting credit so you can check out these books. It really is slave labor. This shit really is a plantation. But I just want to say that is look, follow the money. And I was watching a video this morning with Dan Lebitard talking about the Dion effect. That's what they're talking about. Dion. And he's talking about how First Take just mobilized. Now they're going down to Boulder. So don't fall for the okie doke. Follow the money. Know where the true value is. Because that's the biggest thing, like, to make it serious. That's one of the biggest things that black people need to understand is you are extremely valuable, despite what society tells you, despite what media tells you. We have always been valuable to this country. We've always been essential. And they might say we're not. And they might say, oh, well, we have to carry these people. No, we have this burden for these people. It ain't no burden. They've been eating from day one off us. And look at the numbers. Look at the impact. And before you start celebrating about Dion climbing his professional career ladder, which on an individual level is great, that's for him. But stop saying that's a win for black people. because this particular move he did was a win for Dion, was a win for his son, was a win for the city of Boulder. It was a win for college football. It was not a win for black people, and it was not a win for Jackson State or the city of Jackson. Don't lose sight of that.